Who's up? Who's down?
My up this week, ESPN's Ryan Clark. He re-signed with the network after what was kind of a public negotiation. He had aired some of his frustrations with not getting a new deal, but I'm happy that he's back at ESPN. The guy is incredibly versatile, does the NFL programming, does morning shows like Get Up, and is really solid. He's going to probably continue to develop his podcast outside of ESPN's auspices, The Pivot. And he was also pretty good inside the NFL last season. I'm curious to see if he continues on that show. Josh, who do you have for your down this week?
My down for this week, Austin, is the situation surrounding Eli Gold and Alabama football. I'm a longtime college football fan. Those who know me well know that there's nothing better than being on campus on a Saturday afternoon in the fall, the music, the pageantry surrounding it. Part of that also is the voices around college football. Keith Jackson, Brent Musburger. I put Eli Gold in that same category. Been calling Alabama games since 1988.
Touchdown, Alabama!
In NASCAR country here, obviously listen to a lot of NASCAR on the radio. Eli Gold on NASCAR calls for a long time. I think he's someone who's synonymous with Alabama football. He's synonymous with college football as a sport. So I think despite whatever terms they went their separate ways on, I'm not sure what happened there and why they decided to go their separate ways. I think it's just a huge loss for Alabama football, for college football fans. I'm sure Chris Stewart, who has filled in for Eli when he's been dealing with some health issues in the past, will do a fine job. He's been there for a long time doing Alabama basketball. But I do think it's just a big, big loss for Alabama football fans and college football fans as a whole, seeing Eli Gold go his separate ways with the Crimson Tide.
Well, it's part of a lot of changes that are going on in Tuscaloosa for Crimson Tide fans this fall. Nick Saban's leaving too, so things are definitely going to look different for Alabama next season. My down for this week is Drive to Survive Season 6. That dropped on Netflix recently. And, Box to Box continues to do a great job producing it, but there was no drama this year. And you kind of knew that coming in if you had paid attention at all to F1 in 2023. Max Verstappen just dominated. He won something, and Red Bull won something like 19 or 20 races. It was ridiculous. There was very little competition. So it kind of felt manufactured, the drama that Box to Box had to produce for this show. It was like, all right, let's see who's battling for second place in the Constructors Series. Like, that was like the complete focus of the final episode. Now, Las Vegas in that last episode of this season looked incredibly good. That debut race, it was glitzy. They showed the lights. They showed the pomp. That came off really well. But having that kind of manufactured drama just didn't really sit well for me, especially in the past seasons when you had Max and you had Lewis Hamilton really going at it for the championship, and they built up that drama. It created more fandom in me for F1. I'll admit I only really latched on to F1 once I started watching this show, like a lot of people. I also think it was a loss for the show that Gunther Steiner is exiting. He was on this season, but not going to be returning as the principal at Haas. They kind of alluded to it quickly at the end of the last episode. I am curious to see if they're able to bring him back in some capacity for Season 7. Obviously, that, a ways off. But I do know the next season's show will be big on Lewis Hamilton's announced move to Ferrari for the 2025 season. They did not talk at all about that. So I know the show's probably going to be coming back, but this season didn't really bring the drama for me. Josh, who is your up for this week?
Austin, my who's up for this week is The Match. Aired Monday night on TNT. Rose Zhang, Lexi Thompson, Rory McIlroy, Max Homa. It's been pretty interesting to see how this series has evolved over the years. 2018 debuted Tiger Woods against Phil Mickelson. We all know about that one. In the years since, they've transitioned it a little bit. They've added some NFL quarterbacks, some other celebrities, NBA players into the mix. As a longtime golf fan, I love my golf. I want to see golfers. I can see celebrities play anytime. So I really like seeing four, top pros at the top of their game. And then you add in the ladies to this mix. Lexi Thompson, probably one of the most popular LPGA players over the last 15 years. And then you've got Rose Zhang, who is maybe the most successful amateur player in the history of golf. Even looking at the men's game and the success that Tiger had there in his amateur career. I mean, Rose coming on the scene, winning in her pro debut last summer, really couldn't have asked for four better players last night. I mean, for me, I'm kind of a golf traditionalist. I like my 3 to 6 on Saturday and Sunday afternoons. So I'm not really the target audience for this match. Reaction on social media on Monday night was super successful, overwhelmingly positive, I thought, aside from a few too many DJ Khaled references throughout the broadcast on TNT. I have to think that some of these TV network executives from the likes of CBS, from NBC, some of these PGA Tour, even Live rights holders are going to be watching these sorts of matches. Kevin Hopkins, Mark Steinberg, the team at Excel, they really try a bunch of different things around the match. You look at the mic'd up players, various, drone shots around the course, a lot of different things that other networks could potentially be looking at. We continually talk about golf broadcasters looking to enhance the product. So what is an NBC, Tommy Roy, what is Sellers Shy at CBS watching on this broadcast last night and thinking, how can I improve that? How can I take this little bit and add it to our broadcast at CBS and make it better? That's one thing that I think probably is going on throughout this match. But I'd say overall, again, not my cup of tea. I enjoyed it, but I'm not the target audience, and I think it really, it did really well last night. I was pretty impressed.